Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Quick look here again at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. It did hit our target of 57,000. However, I was expecting that to take a little while longer than just sub 24 hours, right? So again, amazing stuff. Love that we're here now. And I'm sorry if you forgot to fill your spot bags, but we're going to double check and see if there's any possibility the price is going to pull back. I mean, there's a distinct probability it will happen. Maybe not now, but likely in the future. So for now, I would say recommend being careful with taking a short because you can see the buying pressure here. Also, Bitcoin dominance is extremely high, okay? Which just implies that a lot of profits are coming from some altcoins, some profitable altcoins, and coming into Bitcoin, which is a very standard rinse and repeat situation here. So a lot of times you want to kind of hesitate to take longs when Bitcoin dominance is pulling back. And then once it starts to stabilize, when Bitcoin dominance is increasing rather, and when Bitcoin starts to pull back, then that might be a consideration when the dominance starts to pull back or decrease. Again, easier said than done, of course, but generally speaking, that's kind of where we're at. So if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Hope you learned something today. Obviously, cryptocash.tech is a site linked down below if you want to become a better trader. We've got a lot of new traders over there, so welcome. Make sure you read through my signals guide so you understand specifically how my trade signals work. I've got day trades and swing trades as well. These are all shared with my Premium and Premium Plus members. Congrats on our Doge profits. Reef, Crowcoin, Litecoin, Dot, and Atom, as well as what was it? There's a few others too, but generally speaking, those are all in our Premium Plus group too. So some really nice day trades going on too, but for lack of better terms, it's a nice profitable market right now, okay? So you want to be careful taking longs, but you also want to know that the longs are still in play, okay? We're not like in a short market just yet. I know people get short crazy when the price keeps going up, and they're the ones that got liquidated here, 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 and here, okay? So please, 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 pump the brakes. It's not worth taking a short just yet. I think it was still a little premature. That's my personal opinion, but again, what do I know? I just looked at the charts yesterday. I haven't looked at it again here today, right? When we were talking yesterday, it was at 53,000. I was considering a long at 53. It never came back down to 53. It just continued to run, okay? So again, missed opportunities happen all the time. I missed plenty of opportunities yesterday, but glad we had some skin in the game from some previous swing trades, right? That's generally the concept. So what we look at here is a few key factors. Let's jump into the back-end data. This is liquidation levels for Bitcoin on the last 7 days, and we can see again, shorts will never stop. They always have to try to just keep putting money in the market there. 61,500 is a rough estimate for the next level of liquidation. Do I think it's going to happen? Possibly, but not exactly. And what I mean by that is because we had such a large amount of volume liquidated here at 56,500 that there's not a lot of incentive to drive the price action up for the whales right now. Okay, we also got a 0.786 fib level just above the current price point. So there's a lot of things that need to happen. We need to get through some of those resistances first before we can see that next leg up. So again, if we can break through those resistances, consolidate as support, then I would say it's quite probable the price continues higher. But again, that's kind of a distant future there. Okay, so in the last 7 days, we've seen a healthy amount of liquidation levels at 61,000. So people are feeling safer shorting right now. If we take a look at this 12-hour time frame, I mean, these shorts will not stop. They just consistently want to keep shorting the market. It's crazy. So once more, probably a lot of revenge traders in there, but generally speaking, we can see 57,600 just above the most recent high, and of course, upwards about 58,900. These are all added in the last 12 hours. And as you can see, there's an equal amount of longs and shorts. So really just kind of flip of a coin as far as which direction it's going to go. But once more, just be mindful going into a trade that there is a decent amount of liquidation above the price action, which could incentivize the price to go higher to sweep that level of liquidity. Wouldn't be surprised, but again, we're getting up there in push. So I would be surprised if we go too much further. But once more, if we do go further, just to clarify, on the 7 day, I would say 61,000 would be the next stopping point, potentially between 61 and 62. And let's look at the charts here, just really quick, kind of get perspective. Let's start with the weekly and kind of look at that. So if we zoom out a little bit, we can see the highest point, roughly 70,000, easy estimate, easy roundup number from previous highs, okay? That's the highest point. We got 57 here, so it's about a $13,000 gap, which is quite sizable, and there's not a lot of resistance in between. I mean, you could say these previous week closures about 60 to 61,000. This could pose a potential, I wouldn't say problem, but that'll be the next resistance, right? So we put that on the charts. That'll kind of just help us understand and remember that 60,000 is probably the next highest point that we could see. Once more, 60 to 61 to 62,000. Those are kind of three little areas, easy round numbers to remember. Now, again, having those numbers in your mind is good, because those, you'd probably want to put your profit target just below that, right? So 59,900 instead of 60,000 even. As the price goes up, you just take the current price point and just subtract a little bit, and that should be your profit target. Okay, so that's what those key level resistances are doing for us. They're helping us understand where the price could go, and if it does, those are good profitable areas to consider taking profit. So let's go ahead and let's do this here. Let's go ahead and clear. Let's talk about the daily, because we did cover the weekly here yesterday. I don't want to take up too much of your time in that. We want to kind of focus on the important stuff here, which this, again, being above 70 on the RSI, as I mentioned before, is extremely important, right? Price action for this coin has notoriously stayed over 70 on the RSI for weeks, right? Typically 1 to 2 weeks, I would say, is a common place. So we're over 70 right now, and we've been here for about 2 days. So hypothetically, we're probably going to stay in this range for some time. Now, does that mean the price cannot pull back? No, it just implies that we have strength here, and the likelihood of the price going up is still quite high. Okay, and we got to respect that. We've also got a lot of money flowing into the coin, of course, on the daily MACD convergence. As I mentioned yesterday, everything's looking truly bullish for this coin. Now, it doesn't mean that the price can't pull back because it's bullish. You got to recognize that. The fact that it's jumped up so fast, so quick, does imply that a decrease in value could very well happen. And a lot of times these previous ascending trend lines, this yellow line here, for example, that could very well be retested. Okay, so it'd be like a bullish back test, so to speak, right? So the price action could pull back to those ranges there. I'll extend those out later, and I'll put post our playout chart at a better time. But generally speaking, if the price does come back to retest that level, that'd be roughly a retest of about 55,000 as a rough estimate. Okay? So we could see 55K retested. That would make the most sense if the price does pull back to get an initial pivot off of that level. But if we look at everything else, generally speaking here, moving averages are still ascending. We can see that we have this ascending trend here with the 20-day SMA. So we'll just go ahead and pull that out here as well, just to pay closer attention to that. Okay, so again, the price action, we can kind of see this convergence here with these lines. Good chance one of these two levels will pose a support, and the price could pivot, continuing higher up to 60 to 62K. Okay, that's generally what we're looking at as a rough estimate. Is that a guarantee? Absolutely not. But it is a probability, because again, we're above all moving averages, and we're above 70 in the RSI. When you are above those levels, you want to consider waiting to take profit in most cases. So if you have a long position open now would not be a great time to consider closing. I know it seems kind of strange and weird, but generally speaking, we're still in a bullish continuation. Okay, so once more, be very, very careful with shorting your shirt off right now. If you're going to short anything, I mentioned this earlier, short some alts, because again, Bitcoin dominance being on the rise. Some highly profitable alts, for example, OP, VeChain. There's a few of them that are pulling back, of course, because they're massively overextended. Right now, shorting right now at this exact moment may not be ideal either, because once more, Bitcoin dominance could be plateauing. Right, so it's kind of a unique situation that we're in right now, and this is one of those times where I keep getting the question, when's our next signal? Well, truth is, you got to be careful in these environments. If you miss some opportunities, all good, but if you FOMO into a missed opportunity, it can be all bad, because longing the top can be a potential issue right now. Once more, longs are still in play. It's the right play, but generally speaking, some alts could be exuding some shorting behavior, and we're going to look at that today too. So Bitcoin, we are plateaued and maxed out on stochastic RSI. Hasn't seen any sign of pulling back. Until it does, we have no reason to consider shorting. Traditional RSI, very overextended, but also very high. We've been up here for about 24 hours as a rough estimate. And when we talked about this yesterday, RSI on the 4-hour can stay above for roughly 3 days on average. So we've got maybe another day or two of continuation here. That's really what it boils down to. Excuse me. And then if we take a look at the daily time frame too, we have, well, what do you know? We've got 2 white soldiers. Could very well see a third one. Okay, the price action continues up here to that 60,000 range, and at that point, that'd be a better consideration for a short. Okay, again, I hate to even throw the word short out, because some people misinterpret and say, "Oh, Cash said to go short. We're jumping all in," when that's not at all what I'm saying here. Everything is truly bullish. There's zero reason to consider a short at this point. I get it. Little scalps here and there, day trading, perfectly fine. Swing trading swing trading, right now we're turning a scalp into a swing trade as a short, maybe not the best call. You might get lucky. It's kind of a 50-50 shot, don't get me wrong. But once more, with all this bullish continuation, it makes zero sense to continue to a short. We are starting to plateau on the MACD, telling us we are starting to shift in momentum, potentially. Keep in mind, this candlestick hasn't closed yet. We got 2.5 hours left on this candle, okay? So again, very premature in my personal opinion to take a short right now. We do take a look at TD sequential on the 4 hour. We're getting up there, right? There's no doubt that we're overextending ourselves, and a pullback would make sense in the relative near future. But that's what the market movers like to make you think too. You got to recognize they are very greedy. They've got billions of dollars to move the market however they see fit. Just to give you perspective, yesterday when things were moving, we saw an initial surge from 53,000 to 55,000. $1.57 billion was introduced into one exchange in 15 minutes. We furthermore saw another pump here, of course, where ByBit Spot and Coinbase both saw roughly 100 million, but it was actually in futures $2.27 billion to take the price from 55 to 57K. All right. So what's to prevent them from introducing $4 billion and shooting it up to 62,000 to destroy a bunch of people and a lot of accounts? So those are things that keep me kind of on the sidelines being happy I'm not losing money right now, okay? You got to change your mentality. You look for reasons not to take a trade instead of taking a trade, and it's a much better life, all right? Again, you may not be taking as much profit as the next guy, but you know what the next guy is doing? They're losing their ass in a lot of trades they're not sharing with you. And they are showing you only the awesome 50x leverage trades of how ballsy they are and how stupid they really are by trying to take high-risk leverage trades in this high-risk market. Makes no sense, all right? Anyways, you want to sustain yourself. I would watch some of my trading videos, of course, my Trading Academy videos if you're in my community, and just be patient, folks. This is, there's going to be plenty of time when the bull market occurs for us to be able to take a lot of aggressive trades. Right now, we're in this unique transition, and I still don't think that we're truly in a bull market yet. Anyways, okay, I'm getting wordy, I apologize, but generally speaking here, everything's bullish on the daily and the 4 hour. Is that a reason to consider a short position? No, I've got news for you folks, it is not. However, we are starting to see some overextensions here occurring. And as we've talked in the past, generally speaking, overextensions occur within about 72 hours. That's usually the case in point when you want to consider a short or a reversal if you're taking a long to the downside. Excuse me. So what does that mean for us here? Well, we've hit a 9 here. We got our first 9 on TD sequential. Price resets, goes sideways, comes up to another 9. We are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours into this next continuation, right? So you could summarize that that's roughly 27 to 36 hours of push in the same direction, okay? That implies we're roughly halfway through this progression. And what that basically just means for us, if we see an 8 on TD sequential on the 4 hour, which we have right now, then there's a strong probability that we're going to see a 9, a slight pullback, and another 9 after that, okay? Again, that's what bullish continuations do. That's why we have 3 white soldiers. You do the math, 72 hours is exactly 3 green candles, okay? So what does that mean for us here? Is the price going to pull back? It doesn't feel like it because it looks like we're trying to sweep more liquidity here at about the 57,500 mark. So if you got a short open right now, I'd be very, very careful. You're likely due for a sweep here in the relative near future. Now, is this a guarantee? No, the price could pull back and never see 57K again for some time. But everything is pointing up right now. And why take a short into something that is pointing up? Again, people shorting the market right now, it's just an extremely risky move, and it's unwarranted. Again, if you're shorting as a scalper and a day trader, that's a different story altogether. You probably took some nice little profits, from this guy here to this guy here, caught a little 1.5% gain, right? 10x leverage, you took some decent profit. That's good. But if you're trying to swing trade as a short right now, it just doesn't make a ton of sense, me personally. I love what I see here as far as overextension. That would normally be a green flag to take a short. But when you got every confirming factor telling us the price is still moving in the upward direction, there is 0 reasons to take a short. I'm sorry, I don't know how else to describe it, folks. And I guarantee you, as soon as I upload this video, the price will drop and everybody's going to say, I was right and you were wrong. And that's okay. Everyone's gets it wrong sometimes. And I do too. I mean, yeah, if you're in my community, I get the occasional trade wrong. 1 out of every 25 trades a month. Sure, I get it wrong. I totally get it. But in this case here, Bitcoin is exuding nothing but bullish behavior, and we have 0 reason to consider taking a short. So please listen to me here. If you're going to short, just watch it closely. It's not to say it's wrong. It's just a higher risk play, and it doesn't make a ton of sense to me. You have a different risk tolerance. That's perfectly fine. Short what you want. I personally would rather wait for 59 to 62,000 before I short if I'm going to. I'm in this market right now, bullish continuation type of market. You're way better off waiting for a long position, a better long, than to short to that long. You don't have to be in the market 24/7, folks. That's not how you live. I know some people live that way, of course, don't get wrong, but that's not how you comfortably live. And if you want more gray hairs, white hairs, whatever, go ahead, be my guest. But at this point here, I hope that you had learned something and this made sense in how I described it. So yeah, the answer to some questions, because I got the question, is this fib level, this 57,800 mark, a strong fib level? And the answer is yes, it typically is. So we should experience some rejection here or some resilience. And again, previous week closures at about the 58,500 mark could also pose a problem. But the incentive of this upper level liquidity, because people keep shorting, it's going to keep pushing the price action up. Until people learn their lesson and stop shorting, this coin will not continue to increase. So I just, yeah. Okay, sorry. I got a little wordy here today. I hope you learned something. Again, thank you so much for watching. Obviously, comment below. Don't forget to like the video. That really helps. YouTube sucks with getting my information out there. So please, of course, like, subscribe, follow, comment below, all that wonderful stuff. It really helps grow the channel and, more importantly, get this in front of people that need it. Because the people that need this stuff can't even discover this here because they're watching all these other idiots that are telling you to short at this higher level. Again, I could be off base here, but you tell me if you see all the proof is in the pudding, as they say, right? We have no reason to short just yet. It's still a little premature. Okay. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.